Hi foragers, and welcome to another episode of Foraging for Your Food with the Bushtucker Woman, aka me, Ingrid. Alright guys, so we're out here today and I did promise a bit more information about bulrushes, and so today I'm going to show you those, and I'm going to show you a few of the tools and tricks that I use to harvest these. So I'll show you the tools first and then the tricks. Okay, so off to the side here I have my magnificent mad scientist gloves. Now these are electrician gloves. They cost me about 10 bucks maybe from the hardware store. Well worth the investment because they're multi-purpose. For today they're going to allow me to grip and not get my arms wet and look really deviously cool. Yeah, right? Who doesn't want to be wearing these huge arse-on gloves? But I actually have them for prickly pear and stinging nettle harvesting, both of which contain really tiny little fine irritating hairs, which if you get them absolutely anywhere in your bare exposed skin will irritate for quite some time. Now that's why I have these. They protect all of there, and then I wear appropriate clothing today. Hopefully nothing other than a sleeping snake is going to be biting me today, and let's hope not for that either. So big long gloves or any gardening gloves that have a good amount of grip on them will do you. It just makes it a bit easier when you're actually gripping the root of the bulrush and actually getting it out than if you were using it with your bare hands, because you can then sometimes cut your hands on the reeds. Alright, so the other tools that I use, I did mention that I use my handy sickle here. Okay, now it's quite good for actually getting down underneath the roots and then reefing them out. You've got to be a bit careful when you do that, because otherwise you might sever the in-between root and the connecting bit, which is actually what we want to eat. Okay, now here's my favourite one. It's got the toss-up between the scythe and the machete actually. Now this is my special one. This is my sharpest machete. I've got a couple of them, and most of them are just for bush bashing and cutting through your usual stuff. This one is a bit heavier and a bit more badass if you ask me. It is a Gerber. They are incredibly good quality and they are really, really sharp, and they will stay that way. I have had this for over a year now and I still haven't had to sharpen it. Okay, it's really, really good. It's weighted as well at the tip here, so it makes it a lot easier when I'm cutting through large shrubs. Okay, so just a word on using a tool like this. This is a modern day sword, alright? Now you do have to be careful. Ask someone who is familiar with it. Watch some videos on how to actually use it as well. And always, always remember the safety first. Now I have a safety line attached to mine, which I wrap around my hand twice, and then I grip like this, and I make sure I have a really firm grip. And always away from yourself and out of your cutting circle, okay? So you're going to feel like you're getting sliced in half here while we do this. Okay, so away from yourself, thumb out, grip hold, and through. Yeah, okay? And you want strong. If you're cutting down, it's a slicing action like that, alright? Okay, so you want to be really careful, and also make sure you check your points behind you before you go whopping about with a machete. I have seen some pretty close calls in my time with people not checking that there's someone behind them when they're doing this. Okay, now if you're going through a jungle type scenario, that's much different, and you'll be going with a cross cutting action because you're trying to clear a path for you there. I find it's actually a lot more effective to actually cut at a mid length and go as you go through. Alright, today what we're going to be using this for is actually cutting down some of the fungi, because it's over infesting in this area here, and you want to be able to see that clear growth coming through. At the moment it's springtime and it'll have beautiful white shoots coming off with tubers down the bottom, which are really nice and taste a little bit like asparagus. Okay, so I'm going to give this a shot and going to show you how to chop some things up with a machete the right way. Okay people, machetes are not a toy, they are a serious tool, and please treat them with respect as such. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so I want to make sure my footing is quite good and steady. I'm on a bank here. Make sure, double check. Alright, to your left, no one behind me. To my right, no one behind me. Always, always double check, okay? And then straight through. There we go. Nice and simple. Alright, so again, coming in closer, footing, left, right, fantastic, and through, okay? And through. There you go. Nice and simple. So that's what I'm doing here at the moment. We're areas of, got some lovely cockatoos joining us for our video here today, who are making a really good raucous. Okay, sorry about that. Look, they've passed off into the distance. Now you might be able to hear me. Okay. Alright, so I'm doing that to clear so I can actually get down to the root, to the tuber, which I'm going to show you now. Alright? Hopefully. Hopefully. It's a bit of a tricky one, this one. So, make sure, put the machete away. And be very careful at this point. Now very sharp. And away you go. Alright, time for the gloves. Mad scientist time. Hopefully these ones will be pretty easy to pull. Hopefully. We'll see how we go. And hopefully we'll have a really good example of some Bushtucker tuber to show you. And then we can talk a little bit about the uses. And this is most often the case with fungi. Giving it a good heave-ho with just your hands alone will often likely not achieve results. However, if you're in water, it's probably going to be a lot easier to actually get those roots out. So we'll give it another go, this time using a tool. Alright, so I've got here a couple of tools ready to use. Got a sharpened digging stick here. Now this one's probably not going to cut the mustard with such a large job. However, hopefully my scythe, or my sickle should I say, will. Alright. More success this time. Alright. Beauty. This is a little bit of what we've been after. Now, I found the most effective way to actually harvest this is to swim out. So come summertime, when this is green and lush, I actually come out here and swim out and collect really large amounts of this to actually help maintain it out in the harder to get areas. So it's completely infested this entire reservoir here, and I'm just doing a little bit at a time, eating it as you go. Alright, so it does require a fair bit of grunt to actually pull them out, and most of these tubers and the connective in between tissues have been ripped as I jerked it out there, but you can see the tuber through that. Now these aren't very fantastic examples here. Okay, hopefully a bit better for this one. Be able to have a look here. Okay, so that tuber, I might just give it a quick wash so we can see a bit better. Yeah, here it is. Alright, so might take off the gloves as well. Gives the tick. Alright. Now we're talking. Alright, now we've finally got a semi-decent sample. These are actually really small examples of Bullrush. I'm just being really lazy and can't be bothered going over the other side of the reservoir today to do a quick demo. So I'm just showing you. This is the young shoots starting to come up now. So we'd do away with all this. Alright, Now in summer and through spring, when this plant is green, lush and full of nutrients, that is really good vegetable matter through here, kind of like asparagus. So you chop that up, put that in your stew. You know, you can eat it raw. It has kind of a green beany sort of taste to it. It's very good for you. Erring on the chewy side, some of it. So you take out the outer leaves, which I'm trying to show you here. Bear with me a tick. I'll just grab my knife on the job. Might make life a bit easier, I reckon. Okay, so got it down here. Just gonna sling off some of these roots here. Oh, and the sun's coming out. Beautiful Victorian spring day. Yes, we do have sunshine in Victoria, believe it or not. And nice days too. And Bushtucker, which not many people think we do either. Alright, so down underneath here you're starting to see there's another nodule forming in here. So that's the tuber connection. It kind of looks a bit like ginger. You can see the small shoots coming through now. So it's going to be another month or so before these are primed to harvest. So I'm just checking the progress, seeing how they're doing. And these little shoots here, these are really delicious. Now, I'm not going to chuck her in my mouth straight off the bat and eat it, because it needs to be washed, okay? Anytime you are getting, dropping it all over the place here. Okay, anytime you're eating a water-based food like this, you need to wash it first, okay? I even go so far as to wash it 2 times because of the potential for contaminants, alright? Now this plant is very good at filtering water, okay? That means it removes a lot of crap from the water around here. So you need to be really careful about just going, oh yeah, and having a munch on things, because you don't know what's been in that water, how many ducks have been living there, if you get my drift. So always wash them a couple of times first. And what you do to cook those is the actual tubers, the connective tissue, which we haven't got a very good example of here. We've got a truck coming past, so bear with us on the audio. Okay. Got a car. Joys of foraging. Okay, so what you do is you pop those tubers actually straight on to the fire. You remove the outer roots like this, and then you toast them. They wind up looking like burnt charcoal sticks basically, and that's the point that they're really, really yummy. You crack them open and suck out all the gooey potato-like goodness. It's really quite nice. There's a couple of different ways you can cook them. You can put them in stews, lots of different things. Okay, there's many, many recipes that this Bullrush or fungi can be used for, just to get a bit inventive and start cook-experimenting. Get out there, start foraging. There's even some more practical applications that we'll look into next time. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this educational video, and I hope you've learned something new about one of our native plants that is slowly becoming a pest. And get out there, enjoy some sunshine and happy foraging. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Bye.